let's look specifically at how we've integrated into Solution Manager 7.2. So within Solution Manager, there's lots of different components. There's monitoring components and things like that. We're specifically talking about the test suite. So the test suite is where we actually talk about defining the requirements, what the business processes look like, and then associate quality with them. So within Solution Manager, specifically the test suite, there's test data management where you can put your test data you want to use. There's new facilities in 7.2 for manual testing, and then there's the automated test. So this is where you do your test configuration to point to CBTA and to Worksoft. So we actually have automated test scripts, the test data that is provided in the test suite we can consume and we can read and update. And then we allow you to actually take the life cycle. So in the life cycle, what that means is you're going to take your test cases and assign them to a processes and a process step. So you understand these tests are associated with a larger business process. And then when you run your change impact or BPCA, one thing you need to do to create dynamic TBOMs is you need to run or exercise those transactions or that business process as defined in the test suite with an automated test or manual test. So what we can do is we can actually run our certified automated tests in the test suite to exercise the documented business processes so Change Analyzer can do its job. The nice thing is we're very elegantly integrated with the test execution. So you can see your results inside of Solution Manager and the traditional CBT reports, but you can also see a nice PDF of your screenshots and your activities along with your details within Certify also. So they're very nicely integrated from the Solution Manager perspective. And then the last thing is all of our test results, the passing and failing that, are stored into Solution Manager. So when Test Suite starts to look at the quality of, say, a sprint or a wave of functionality, all those reports and dashboards available, and they include your manual tests along with things done with automation. Okay, our advanced support for Test Suite, there's quite a few features here that are good to understand. The nice thing is we have native testing for the SAP GUI, for Fiori, the S/4HANA, and other legacy systems. So we have a very elegant solution that tests all of the SAP GUIs across there. We really focus on making that happen. Now what's important is people say, well, I actually use BEX, or I use spreadsheets along with my SAP solution. So when you use Worksoft Certify, you can not only test your SAP systems, but you can also test non-SAP applications. That could be Microsoft Office, like Excel or IE or Chrome. It could be some home-built .NET or Java applications. Because when you think about your SAP landscape, it does integrate with other third-party systems and home-built systems. So with Certify, we want to be able to test those processes along with the other ones. And then, of course, we've done a lot to support the test suite of Solution Manager. So we support the test data containers, not just the flat tables. We enable Tbone generation, so Change Analyzer can consume those and give you results so you can understand what's in your transport. And we've done a lot of things to make sure we support SAP GUI and UI5. So we have pre-built optimization so you'll enjoy a very easy experience in recording and testing the SAP environment. Okay, and then we've done some very specific things giving feedback from our customers who use Solution Manager. They said they wanted versioning of their certified automated tests within Solution Manager. So as you edit tests and you save them, we automatically version them. We also have change management built in so you can promote them from a development to a test or production environment. So the idea is if I've got my environments in Solution Manager with all my production tests I'm running, say on a daily basis, I can have a copy of those in the development area, make a change to them. Maybe I'm working on some new functionality in a sprint, aligning up to a wave. When I move that wave ends and I have my quality gate and I move all this to my test area, we support the migration of the test assets there. So we've got a lot of nice things around change management specifically for Solution Manager and our customers who use it. Okay, and then the nice thing is all your results are stored in Solution Manager, so you have a very seamless experience between triaging a defect and looking at the test results. So in the demonstration that my partner Joji is going to show us, we're going to have three core areas. One is the solution setup and the test suite. So the first thing you will have to do when you integrate the Solution Manager is actually do some setup and test suite. So that means setting up your executables, your business processes. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll actually look at automated testing. So what Joji will do is we will actually associate Certify automated tests with the tests in Solution Manager. And that's the core of the work that the user will do within Certify. Okay, and so what we see is people do some setup initially, they'll do lots of automation tests, and then what happens is you can then run those tests and help you create your Tbone. And so that'll be the third segment. So in the demo that Joji is going to show you, we'll take you through that life cycle. So I'm very pleased to pass control over to Joji, and he's going to talk to you about initially setting up the Solomon environment and then assessing your tests and running them.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, everybody. My name is Joji Matthew. I'm a senior engineer with the Certify team, primarily working on the Solution Manager integration. Today, I will be demoing the integration between Solution Manager and Certify. And the first part of the demo, I'll focus on creating a test configuration for Certify in the solution documentation context that is within Solution Manager, record and build test in Certify, execute the test from Solution Manager, and view the results in Solution Manager. And for the second part, I want to focus on generating TBOMs, creating test plans and packages in Solution Manager. So a lot of work would be on the Solution Manager side. For recording and building the test, we'll launch Certify from Solution Manager. Some of the prerequisites before we get started are SAP Solution Manager and SAP ERP landscape is set up and configured. Certify is registered in Solution Manager as an external tool. And at least one solution with a logical component is configured into the solution documentation and Solution Manager. So we will be using the test suite in Solution Manager. So let me start Solution Manager. So I'm starting Solution Manager, and I want to go to the Launchpad in Solution Manager. This is kind of the central hub, and we'll be mostly using the test suite. So to get started, I launch test plan preparation, and this is the solution we pick. Right now there's only one solution, so I pick the current solution. And you have several branches. We want to work on the development branch. This opens up the solution documentation. This is the location where the business processes are laid out, and this is where we build our tests. Currently, I'm on one of the processes defined. So we are in an end-to-end folder. There's a sales scenario that's been created, and we want to test the create sales order scenario. And so the order to cash, we're testing a particular variant. As the first step would be to create a test configuration in Solution Manager, and right-click in the bottom grid. Select test cases. And I want to create a test configuration in Solution Manager. Now for the tool, I want to ensure I pick Worksoft Certify. I pick a test script. So this is some general information about new test configuration. And the next step would be to select an executable. We are testing against VO1, so I'll be picking that as an executable. And I also want to ensure a test profile has been selected, the logical component is right, the target system is correct, and I hit save. So at this point, I've successfully created a test configuration in Solution Manager. The next step is to integrate with Certify. And so I want to launch Certify from Solution Manager to record a test scenario. I want to ensure we are in the edit mode. So we are in the edit mode, and I'm going to launch Worksoft Certify. And so Solution Manager prompts me for Certify credentials. And at this point, Solution Manager invokes Certifies. It gives control over to Certify, and Certify launches here. So this is a Certify screen, and it initially asks you, where do you want to create the test case? So I pick I've created a folder hierarchy, so I create a folder here. That's where I want to create the test case. Now this is the process editor in Certify. It's a empty, it's a blank process or a test in Certify at this point. Now we want to build our test case here. So just want to add a new step, a comment step describing what we are about to accomplish. The second step is I want to launch the target system. I want to test against IDIS system, so I want to launch it. I'm going to run it and see if that step works. Okay, so it has successfully launched that. I added a new step. I executed just that one step, so it launched this IDIS system for me. So I'll continue building the test. Now I want to use a tool in Certify called Certify Capture to record the steps. So as you can see, the capture is running in the background. I just need to now go into the IDIS system and go ahead with my usual business process, and Certify will be recording these steps. All right, that's all I want to capture at this point. And I'm going to say I want to end capture. So it Certify has picked up an application within Certify itself, and it has added these steps. So if you look at the steps, the first step would be to launch the IDIS system, move to the VAO1 transaction, enter a few details, and that's the end of the test. I also want to add a comment which says, okay, I want to close the session after this is done. So we launch IDIS, we have a few steps against it, and at the end of it, we want to close it. I want to add a comment step that says end. So that is the end of the step. For later, we also want to record TBOMs. So I have to go and enable some flags here to tell Solution Manager, okay, at this point, start TBOM recording, and at this point, at a particular stage, stop TBOM recording. So I'm going to create a new step here. And then once it's logged off, I want to say TBOM, I want to start. And then I'm going to copy that step right here. And I want to stop TBOM recording. I want to stop TBOM recording, in fact, before we close the before we close the session. So we want to start Tbone trace, navigate through the screens, enter the values, stop Tbone trace, close the session, and comment out. And at this point, I want to, so our work in Certify is done. We want to save and return control back to Solution Manager. So what we have done so far is we have created a test configuration Solution Manager. We launched Certify. We recorded a test scenario in Certify, and we have come back to Solution Manager. So at this point, we have completed building an entire test case. And the next step would be for us to execute the test configuration. So I've used the execute option and solution in the test configuration editor. It brings me to the start options for execution. I leave all the defaults the way it is. And I run execution. When we run execution, it prompts again for the certified credentials. And if you notice the system tray, it should, as execution begins, there should be a icon, certify icon there, execution in progress. So now this is an automated test that is running. It launched the session, entered the value. It automatically closes the session. It is currently building the results. And once it's done, it'll bring control back to Solution Manager. So if you notice at the bottom, it says activity completed, the log is stored under the number, so and so. So we have successfully executed a test that we just created. And it also launches the Certify Results Viewer. So this will help us to look at the status of each of these steps that we had added. So we can see all these steps passed, it logged into the target system, went to the particular transaction, entered the values, closed the session, and that was the end of the test. And at this point, we can also generate summary and detailed PDF reports. This is one of the PDF reports. It gives you detailed status on each of the steps that were executed. So I'm going to close the result viewer, come back to Solution Manager, and also we can view the results directly either from the test tool log, which will launch Certify Result Viewer, it launches the Certify Result Viewer, and then there's also a Solution Manager log. This is a Solution Manager log of the test configuration that was executed. So I'm going to close that. So this was the first part of the demo where we build a test in Solution Manager, launch, certify, record all the test scenario, execute it, be able to view the results. For the second phase, I want to generate TBOMs for the test case. Now, there are different types of TBOMs, and we want to generate dynamic TBOMs, and we can generate that dynamic TBOMs using test cases in Solution Manager. So that way we can track changes to the screen and tie it up to a test case. So there are some prerequisites on the Solution Manager side that we need to set up before we can generate TBOMs. The first one is to pick the executable. In this case, we are working against the create sales order executable. I right-click on the executable and then assign for TBOM generation. This gives us the option to pick the test cases that will be configured to generate TBOMs. So I pick the new test case that was just added, SMA03, and I click OK. And then I also right-click on the actual test case and tie it back to the executable. Tied back to the create sales order executable. This will help us to, when you go to change analyzer and it detects a change on the executable, this link will tell you which test cases to go back and test. So we've done one part of the configuration necessary for TBOM generation. The second aspect is to create test plans and packages. Now we want to assign the test case to a tester. So again, we go back to the test suite and Launchpad, and now we click on test plan management. So we want to create a new test plan for executing the test we just created. These are some general details about the test plan. We pick the correct solution and branches. There are some additional settings we need to set. So the test plans allow us to have an aggregate of test cases divided into packages and assigned to testers, so that when the testers go to their own dashboard, they will see the test cases that have been assigned individually to them, and they can work on those. So this is where we have our test case. SMS03 is the test case we just created. I'm going to pick just that one test case for now. I'm going to save the test plan. So we've created a test plan and picked all the test cases that we were interested in. In this case, it's just one. The second is to create a test package. Again, a few general details about the test package. You can have multiple test packages against a test plan. And at this point, I want to assign a tester also. Okay, so it's saved the data, and I'm going to close the test package and the test plan. And so we have successfully created a test plan and a package and assigned the test case to it. Now, since it was assigned to a particular tester, I'm going to go to the My Task Tester Work List. This is the dashboard for a tester. They would open this, click on Refresh on the lower bottom, on the lower right-hand side. So we see just the test package that has been assigned to the tester. And if I select the test package, it shows all the test cases that are within that package. It's just one test case for now. And so we have several options. At this point, we can schedule an execution. Right now, we want to execute it immediately. And so we said, see, there is just one. And so we want to execute the test. But before that, I just want to make sure the Solution Manager SAP GUI is not timed out. I want to close all other windows that have been previously opened. All right. And so at this point, I want to execute the test. This again opens up the execution start options. And since we are interested in generating the TBOMs, there are two settings we need to ensure that are checked: activate TBOM recording and then copy status to the test workbench. Those are both checked. I uncheck transfer log. I want to make sure all the system data, all of that is correct. The branch is pointing to development, so validate all of those, and then begin execution. This should also execute the same way that we saw before. Execution is running on in the background. If you see the system trace, execution in progress, this should launch the IDIS system, move to the transaction. So currently the automated test is running. It'll automatically close the session and then record or generate TBOMs at this point. So it looks like we've run into some glitch here, one of the TBOMs. Let me pick a test package that was created previously and launch. So everything is checked. Let's give it one more try.
So, Joji, is it fair to say there's a little bit of art with the science of running TBOMs, and it's kind of just getting the rhythm? In reality, you're going to create, say, 50 end-to-end tests within Certify, and then you're going to associate multiple of them with your run so that the TBOM is going to happen for multiple tests at once.
Yes, that's right. And so maybe I missed a setting in one of those in the new ones I created, but this is how it looks. So we ran through a similar exercise. We created a similar test case. The test executed successfully. It launched the session, went through the VO1 transaction, entered values there, closed the session, came back, and since we had marked it for TBOM generation, at the end of it, it created a TBOM. Here, TBOM for user case was created. This log also gives us the details about the steps that were executed. So if we come to execution and we look at the log, these are the steps that were executed in Certify. So we start the system trace for the TBOM, log into the IDIS system, go to the transactions, enter some of these values, and then we close, and then we come back. And then if we go back here, now once we have generated a TBOM, the next step is to go validate what the TBOM has generated. So we go to the executable, select the executable, in this case create sales order, and a second tab opens up, elements of create sales order. And we see one of the type is TBOM, so we open up the TBOM. And so what we should see is a new entry in the log that the TBOM should have updated. So if there's been any change to the create sales order screen and we run the test case, if there's been any change, it will create a new bill of materials. It'll append changes to it. So this is the server timing, so it's slightly off, but we see this was the latest one that has been added. Month is 2, date is 1/18, and this is the server time. And this gives us details about, if we click on show content, it will show what's been captured. But this is basically the TBOM. So these are all the objects that have been captured as part of that transaction. So I think that covers the demo that I was planning to present. First was creating the test configuration, recording a test scenario in Certify, executing and viewing the results, and then second part, creating a test plan and package, and then generating TBOMs.